Hi guys, today we continue learning mechanical vibration and we start talking about forced vibration, and we assume the force to be harmonic, and in the first example the system is going to be undamped, so there is no damper in the system. This is the general form, which for today we are not going to consider this damper. So a mass is under an external force and a spring. So what is going to be the response of the system? If I draw the free body diagram of the system, for example, suppose the mass is initially in the equilibrium state and the force is going to be downward. So the force is downwards and the mass is going to move downwards, and the damper is going to resist it and the spring is going to resist it too. So both of these forces are going to be upwards, and the general formula is going to be like this: mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx equals f of t. And we are going to add two assumptions. I'm going to assume f to be harmonic, and I'm going to assume the system is undamped, so c is equal to 0. So for the undamped response, mx double dot plus kx equals f of t. And I assume a harmonic force. You could alternatively assume it to be sinusoidal function, but I assumed it to be a cosine function. So f naught times cosine of omega times t. And this is a non-homogeneous equation. And what we mean by that is that the right-hand side of the equation is not 0. So for the homogeneous case, it is an equation in which the right-hand side is equal to 0. So if we neglect the force, the external force, it is going to be mx double dot plus kx equals to 0. This is the homogeneous equation. And the general answer of this equation is going to be a summation of the homogeneous answer and the particular answer. So what is the answer of this equation, the homogeneous equation? First, I'm going to solve this, and I'm not going to go through the details, but it is a summation of a sine term and a cosine term. I have talked about this free vibration case in my previous tutorials. You can check that too, but you must know that the answer is a harmonic answer, and the frequency is omega n, which is the natural frequency of the system. It is equal to the square root of k over m. I've talked about it previously in that free vibration tutorial. But finding the particular answer is not that easy. It needs to be guessed somehow. And if you look at the form of the external force, the particular answer, we can assume it to be a harmonic response. And that's what I'm going to do. I assume the particular answer to be x times cosine of omega t. And this equation states that the particular answer is having the same frequency as the external force. It is an important assumption. So if I put this answer into this equation, I come up with this equation. So this is mx double dot, and this is kx, and this is f. So if I cross out the cosine terms, I come up with a simple equation which gives me x, and x is the amplitude of this particular answer. And this is what I come up with. If I put all of them together, so this is going to be the undamped response of a mass under a harmonic external force. And I'm going to solve the problem both in an M file and in Simulink, so stay with me. I also want to talk about a special case where the denominator of this fraction is going to be equal to 0. So if omega is going to be equal to omega n, then this denominator is going to be 0, and that case has to be studied separately. I go to MATLAB, I create an M file called forced undamped, and I want to solve these equations analytically using dsolve command. So close all, clear CLC. I need to define the constants, m and k, I also define omega n, which is the natural frequency. It is the square root of k over m. I take m to be 1 kilograms and k to be 200 newtons per meter. And the natural frequency is in radian per second. It is angular frequency. And what else? I take f naught to be equal to 10. So this was the first part called the constants. Now for the second part, I have to assume 3 cases. Case 1 is omega smaller than omega n. So there are 2 frequencies in the discussion. One of them is the natural frequency, which is a function of the spring constant and the mass. And the other one is the external force frequency, which is denoted by omega. So we have to compare omega and omega n. And that's why I'm assuming 3 cases. Case 1 is omega is smaller than omega n. So I take omega to be, let's suppose it is half of omega n. And in order to solve the equation analytically, I have to define x as a function of time. So now I can define f to be f naught times cosine of omega times t. You know, when you define x as a function of time symbolically in this statement, it not only defines x, but it also defines t. So I don't need to define t separately. And now I have f. I can write the equation. So the equation is going to be m times x double dot. So this is the second derivative of x plus k times x is going to be equal to f. That is the equation. I need to define initial conditions. So I need 2 initial conditions. And the first one states that let's assume the system is initially at rest. So x naught is going to be equal to 0. And it has to be double equation. And for IC2, I take v naught to be equal to 0, 2. So the system is originally at rest and at the equilibrium position. I haven't defined v yet, so I do it here. V is the first derivative of x. Now solve is equal to dsolve. I have a separate video on how to use dsolve command. You can check that video if you do not know how to use it. So that would be also helpful. I have to give it the equation and the initial conditions. Then I have to plot this solution from, let's suppose, 0 to 10. Now I run by pressing F5 to see what happens. Okay, so here is the response of the system, and you can see that it is the summation of 2 harmonic terms. One of them is, as I talked about it here, one of them is having a frequency equal to the natural frequency, and the other one is omega, which was the external force frequency. But for the second case, I change it equal to case 2, and here omega is bigger than omega n, and it is going to be multiplied by 2 instead of divided by 2. And I do not need to change anything. I only add a figure line, which creates a figure before plotting. And this way I can have both of my figure, and the previous one is not going to be overwritten. So I press F5. Okay, now I have 2 figures. And the second figure is obviously having a higher frequency. That is obvious, since what I did is I multiplied the omega by 2. So compared to the previous one, Case 2 has a frequency 4 times bigger than case 1. So the result is expected. Okay, but case 3 is when the external excitation is going to be at the same frequency as the natural frequency of the system. It means omega is equal to omega n. And if I run the third case, you can see that the response is completely different than the 2 previous cases. So the previous cases had a contained vibration, meaning that the amplitude of oscillations were not increasing by time. They were having a boundary. But this case, which is called the resonance, is so important, so dangerous, and you can see that it is increasing linearly with time, the amplitude of oscillations. So next I'm going to implement and show the 3 cases in Simulink. So I go to Simscape, Foundation Library, and Mechanical. I need translational elements, so I add a mass, a translational reference, a translational spring, and I also need an ideal force source, and I add a sensor too. So I press Ctrl I connect the C port of the spring to a wall or reference frame. I press Ctrl Shift R and connect the mass to the spring. I double click on the sensor and set it as an absolute position sensor. I set the spring rate to be 200 and it is initially at rest, so no initial conditions. I double click on the mass. It is 1 kilogram as I wanted, but I changed the number of ports to 2. So I have another port to connect the external force. And this force needs a C port, so I connect it to the wall. And here I create a PS sine wave. It is a physical signal, and I connect it to the force, the ideal force source. And I also connect the sensor here. I add a PS Simulink converter and a scope. I also need a solver configuration block. Every Simscape model needs a solver configuration. You must know that by now. And I only have to change the settings of this sine wave. And okay, I take a look here, and for case 1, if I run it again, here is omega. So I double click on it and I change the frequency to be angular velocity and angular frequency, and it is in radians per second. So now I enter my value. I don't need no bias. So if you want to know what is the equation, you can look at the description. So my equation was this: F naught time cosine of omega t. So there is no offset, there is no bias, and it is just a constant value times a cosine term. And MATLAB does not have a cosine wave block, so I create a sine wave and I set the amplitude to be equal to 10, and I change the angular velocity. And in order to convert sine wave into cosine wave, I add a phase equal to pi over 2. And you probably know from your trigonometry course from high school that cosine of any angle is going to be equal to sine of that angle plus pi over 2. This is a general rule, and if you want to make sure about this, I show you a few examples. So sine of any number, like 1 plus pi over 2 is cosine of that number. You see, sine of 1 plus pi over 2 is equal to the cosine of 1. I give you another example. So sine of 100 plus pi over 2, is it going to be equal to cosine of, 1000. Sine of 1000 plus pi over 2 is 0.56. And cosine of 1000 is going to be exactly the same number. So in order to convert a sine wave into a cosine wave, you just add a phase equal to pi over 2. Now I run the model. And looking at the result, I can see it is pretty much the result that the M file gave me. And for the second case, I have to multiply the external force angular velocity by 4. So I run it again, and this is the second case. But for the resonance case, I set the angular velocity to be exactly equal to a square root of k over m, so 200 over 1. Now I run it again, and here is the result. You see, it is resonance. And I just want to show you one more option, which is, you can see that here the angular velocity is 14. If I set it equal to 12, which is a value not exactly equal to the natural frequency, but something around it, if I run it, I come up with a shape which is so beautiful, and it is called the beating phenomenon. This is the case that happens when the external force angular velocity is approximately close to the natural frequency of the system. And you can look up phenomenon of beats in any vibration reference book. So this is a book by Professor Rao. It is called Mechanical Vibration in SI Units. And this is what happens when omega and omega n are close to each other, but not exactly the same. And that concludes this tutorial. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.